Really hate when people tell me like, oh, your car's not reliable. Bitch, you don't even have a car.
One Piece is a series I decided to put my time into, and honestly it was worth it. Not only is the story amazing and totally worth checking out, but seeing how strong exactly our main characters were was pretty crazy. And so it got me thinking, besides being known as a moron, a meat lover, and well, a moron, Luffy is known for his freakish abilities and his abnormal strength. In this video, I will be covering how strong Luffy is exactly, specifically up to Marineford. The reason for this is because I'm currently only on Fishman Island for One Piece, but once I'm done with all of Post Timeskip, I'll make another scale, just specifically talking about Post Timeskip Luffy, if you guys do enjoy this video. Let me know down in the comment section if you want other power scaling videos in the future, and be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel, along with leaving a like and sharing with your friends. With all that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys do enjoy the video. Now, I think the first thing we should talk about is Luffy's most known ability, and that being the ability to stretch thanks to the Gum Gum Devil Fruit. Luffy's ability is quite useful, giving him invincible skin and making his very cells made out of rubber. This means he's immune to most physical attacks or doesn't feel pain unless he's fighting someone significantly stronger than him, or if he's encountering someone with blades. He's completely bulletproof and he's able to stretch like Mr. Fantastic except fight like a f***ing beast. His main arsenal consists of stretching, with his main attack being the Gum Gum Pistol, which is just an average stretched out punch, and we obviously have his stand rush, the Gum Gum Gatling. There's other moves such as the Battle Axe, the Gum Gum Storm, the Gum Gum Shield. Honestly, this is probably the most versatile yet strangest ability I've ever encountered in fiction. I thought it was just stretched out punches, but no, Luffy can do a lot more than just that. And we see especially in Enies lobby how his fruit is super useful because he uses one of the techniques of the CP9 goons, but he uses it in combination with his double fruit, leading into him increasing his power and speed. This is known as Gear 2, where Luffy increases the blood flow by forcing more blood through his blood vessels, which would then lead into him increasing his physical abilities. Now, I don't know the exact multiplier for Gear 2, and a lot of people like to use the Blueno and Rob Lucci scaling, which I don't like to use because not only did Luffy get stronger in between his fight with Blueno and Lucci, and we would kind of dig ourselves a hole and kind of just get into a bunch of assumptions, and I don't really want to get into that right now. We just know that Gear 2 makes you really fast and really strong on top of your base form. Now, he also has Gear 3, which basically pushes Luffy's physical strength to its limit, and he even uses Gear 3 as a defensive move as well, and even shows signs of Conqueror's Haki and even Observation Haki. Conqueror's Haki is essentially just a fear aura that knocks out people around him who don't have Haki or are just not that strong. And Observation Haki is essentially precognition, and the only time he does this is in Marineford against Mihawk, which prevents him from losing his arms. Now we can move on to AP/durability. I think for this section, I'll start off around Alabasta because this is where we actually get some pretty significant feats for Luffy, since beforehand he's not really trying or really not being too pressed, and whenever he actually starts trying, he's just kind of bopping his opponent. Alabasta is where we actually get to see Luffy not only take an L, but try and learn from it. We see by the end of the fight with Crocodile, he's able to overpower Crocodile's strongest attack with his Gum Gum Storm, and already for Crocodile's special move alone that Luffy overpowered, there are calculations to put it around the multi-city block range. And for Luffy's Gum Gum Storm, this was calced at 649.24 tons of TNT, or multi-city block plus. This is in terms of power scaling, just for those of you who are a little confused. And obviously Luffy can take his own force, and if anything his durability might just be blatantly better than his AP thanks to his Gum Gum Fruit. So really any AP feat that Luffy has, we can just apply it to durability, plus we've already seen Luffy basically having durability and his AP just being in a relative range with each other. So we don't have to get too crazy with splitting attack potency and durability, we can just basically keep them in the same department. Now the next feat I'd like to talk about is in Skypiea, where we see Luffy scrap with Wiper's Burn Bazooka. He blatantly stalemates with this cannon, and this cannon is actually capable of putting out 1.97 kilotons of TNT, or small town levels of energy. And this is kind of consistent because even though Luffy is made of rubber and he did take Enel's attacks because it's mainly kind of a hacks thing, characters in Luffy's tiers such as Wiper by this point are capable of tanking Enel's L Thor, which is in the town range itself. So small town level isn't too bad for early Luffy, however things start to really change scaling wise when we get to Water 7/Enies lobby. Now we have to acknowledge in Water 7, Luffy couldn't do a thing against people like Bruno and even base Lucci. However, by the time of Enies Lobby, Luffy is not only trading blows with Bruno, but after his fight with Bruno and revealing Gear 2 and eating, and then he goes on to scrap with Rob Lucci and Base, and although I would say in my opinion Base Lucci was winning this fight, we still have to acknowledge Luffy's performance in this fight, which was being able to trade blows with him and not be completely negged by him. Plus, you can make an argument Luffy wasn't really trying to fight, rather just get past Lucci because he was currently going after Nico Robin, and it wasn't until Frankie actually showed up was when Luffy can decide to fight Lucci and actually fight seriously. Now, we know that in Water 7, Frankie was actually going to be killed by Blueno, but Lucci intervened and stopped this, so we know that Frankie is below Blueno, and we know that Luffy and Frankie were relative in Water 7. With Frankie maybe being even stronger than Luffy because he could actually press Blueno just slightly more than base Luffy could in Water 7, and Frankie damn near almost lost to someone with a power level of 820. So I think we can make the argument that base Luffy is around like 810, 820, around Frankie's tier or whatever, and he goes from that to being able to scrap with base Rob Lucci, who's also increasing his physical stats, mind you. Like, the people from CP9 literally have the ability Harden from Pokemon, and even then Luffy is still able to slightly press this Lucci, who's at a power level of 4000. If we divide 820 into 4000, we get 4.87. And this would be the specific number of times Luffy got stronger in between Water 7 and Enies Lobby. And since Water 7 takes place post Skypiea, we can basically just say that Luffy got 4.87 times stronger in AP, meaning now he is able to at least produce 22.15 kilotons of TNT, or roughly in the town level tier. Now, there are two more feats I'd like to go over before we move on into the last section, and that is Moria's Thriller Bark Splitting Punch, and how strong Kizaru exactly would be if he does actually kick at the speed of light, which I'll go over last. Firstly, let's talk about the Moria feat, which is pretty cut and dry. He just splits Thriller Bark with the punch, and Gear 2 Luffy is able to body this Moria. Like, he's forcing Moria to spit shadows out of his mouth, and when Moria did this Thriller Bark splitting punch, he did this super casually. And I don't know, because the manga's a little weird when they're showing this, but it looks like Moria is punching all the Straw Hats and they're just not taking any damage. You guys can come to your own interpretation from this panel, but regardless, I think Luffy does scale to this. I don't think anyone can really disagree with that. And depending on what method you want to use for calculating how strong this punch is, you can either get him to 1.3 to 13.7 megatons of TNT, or small city to city level. Now, I know that may seem like a big jump, however, when I bring up this next feat, I think you guys might actually agree that Luffy consistently might be in this tier. Now, we know that Kizaru can kick at the speed of light, and in the data books it's even confirmed that his fruit does move at the speed of light. He shoots light bullets, he has the light fruit. Like, bro, this man shoots stuff at light speed. I don't know why a lot of people have a problem with this, but I think we just need to get that out of the way. Kizaru definitely can throw attacks at the speed of light. He also kicks Luffy at the speed of light, and we see Luffy being able to tank these kicks. Now, some go on Reddit made a calc about how strong Kizaru would be hypothetically if he threw a kick at the speed of light, and it was roughly around 1 megaton of TNT, or around the small city range. And it should also be noted that when Luffy was taking these kicks at Marineford, he was a little weakened, because literally right after this and him draining Gear 2, he just can't transform anymore. So you can argue he's weakened, so city level Luffy might not actually seem like such a bad possibility. Now we can finally move on to his speed, because I really don't have any other AP feats to talk about. Now, Luffy early on has been shown to obviously react to bullets and pull off chicken nugget feats like that. However, I think his first big speed feat is against Don Krieg, where he dodges the explosion coming from his weapon. This was calculated at to be around Mach 12, which isn't really bad for early Luffy, but y'all are here to see the big fast feats, and do not fear, as I'm finna supply. Now, we know Luffy and Zoro by Whiskey Peak are essentially just equals stat-wise, which means Luffy would also scale to Zoro blitzing 100 bounty hunters, which was calced at Mach 37. So Luffy should just upscale from this calc no matter what you say, and by the time we even get to Skypiea, we see the weaker Straw Hats reacting to way faster things, and Luffy and Zoro obviously upscale from this. Like Nami was weaving a Nell's Blast, which was calced at Mach 413, and Zoro reacting to a Nell was calced at Mach 721. And even people like crippled Sanji are able to react to the lightning, so basically everyone is out here bullying with these kind of massively hypersonic plus feats. So saying Luffy's a lightning timer by Skypiea isn't really all that impressive, and especially when we get to Endy's lobby, the speed starts getting a little crazy. You see, we see the weakest member of CP9, Caulifla, reacting to Nami's lightning, which was calced at Mach 1192. And we know that the power system ranks your physical power, which also applies to your speed. So this means Rob Lucci, who's 6.3 times stronger than her, should be at least over Mach 7500, and Luffy being able to scrap with Lucci would obviously mean he would be in this tier speed as well, and Luffy and Lucci can both amp themselves exponentially. Really, other than this and the Luffy dodging Kizaru calc, I don't really see any other big speed feats for Luffy for pre-timeskip. Like, the only thing that's even close to maybe relevant to Luffy's scaling is him dodging the Noro Noro beam, which apparently is photons and reflects off a mirror, so you might be able to argue it's light speed. However, Luffy even dodging this beam isn't even calculated to be over light speed. It's like sub-relativistic, so Luffy even at best, with an assumption, isn't even light speed. And I think for pre-timeskip as well, it doesn't really make any sense for Luffy to be past light speed or even light speed, since he was getting bopped by Kizaru. But that's just my opinion, and in conclusion, I think this is where Luffy's speed peaks in pre-timeskip. So in conclusion, Luffy by the end of pre-timeskip should be at city level with sub-relativistic but more consistently massively hypersonic plus reaction speeds, and has a decent amount of versatility despite only having just one power mainly. But it doesn't matter because Zoro pre-timeskip still slaps him.